Welcome to Our Paramotor Nation. Tonight's show is sponsored by PPG, offering a full-service paramotor training experience with 3 on-site instructors and limited class sizes. Florida Flight Sports, year-round training at your truck training headquarters. You can do this. PPG lights make one heck of an impression with countless patterns and colors on your paramotor. Lone Star Paramotor has become one of the most sought-out paramotor schools, offering foot launching and trike training classes and much more. PPG Zone, one stop for everything you want to know about the paramotor scene, where fly-ins are happening, and so much more. Aviator Paramotor is a cornerstone for paramotor training while offering its students some of the top paramotor equipment. Fly PPG Discovered Power Paragliding has helped people from around the world get into our great sport. Wisconsin Flight Sports, they make it affordable and accessible for you to get your paramotor training. Charlie Soap, an all-natural laundry detergent and household cleaner, are like no other. One-Up Adventures and ParamotorProps.com, sharing their passion for flight on adventures around the world. SkyLab Paramotor SIV, teaching paramotor pilots of all skill levels collapse recovery and advanced maneuvers. True North Paramotors are American-made, lightweight, cutting-edge, fully customizable paramotor frames, complete units, wings, and accessories. Check out their website today. Blackhawk Paramotors USA's mission is to produce the safest, most powerful, and most reliable powered paragliding equipment in the world. Paraswag USA, your complete powered paragliding gear source. iFly Indiana provides USPPA certified powered paragliding.
What's up, everybody? How are you? We just kind of ended that. We're having so many technical difficulties today. All right, I think we're working. Let's see. Hopefully, yes. Yeah, you should be able to hear me. Hi, welcome to our Paramotor Nation. So, Spectrum is just dog junk when it comes to internet services. And that's why the delay tonight. Sorry about that. But we're going to have a great show, and hopefully everything works. Originally, we were going to do this off my phone, and we were having such problems in the pre-show, but we're here now. So welcome, everybody. Next week, Michelle Burns, she's going to be talking about setting goals, getting into paramotoring. So if you're new or if you're trying to help other people get into paramotoring, hopefully she's going to help us do that. Quick thing here. We got Moonshiners coming up. John, are you there, John? John, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm here, David. Way to hang in there. Way to hang in there till the internet starts working.
Dude,
good job, buddy.
We started only 10 minutes late tonight. We'll make it up on the backside. John, are you going to Moonshiners?
Yes, I will be attending the Moonshiners fly-in.
Wonderful. I don't think I'll be there. No, I'm kidding. I'm planning on being.
Oh, you killed me just for a second.
A lot of people running that Moonshiners. Cody is one of them, and Cody has put out some T-shirts, and I put the link to the T-shirts on the Facebook page for our Paramotor Nation, but then someone came in and copied his stuff and put another link. Just horse crap, man. So the actual link is on the description of this show. So if you click on the description, you'll find the link. Order yourself a T-shirt if you want to get one for Moonshiners. That should be fun, John.
I'm excited, David. I've been there before. It's a beautiful place to fly, but I have to warn the newer guys, It's a tough takeoff area. You're elevated up there, and you probably have to run twice as far as you used to running if you're if you're at sea level.
Okay. All right. So you're saying
beware, everyone.
There may be a little carnage.
I hope not.
I hope not. Now, John, you've got a big announcement you had mentioned earlier on the advertisement.
Yes, I do.
So what is it?
Well, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to wait till the end of the show to hear it.
That's horse crap too, man.
Well, maybe halfway through.
All right, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll let our guest dictate that. And there he is. Andy Fuller is with us. Hi, Andy.
What's up, Andy?
Our instructor, Andy Fuller, for our SIV at SkyLab. And Andy and I have been talking, and he shared with me something really, really exciting, and that's the premise of this show. I'm sorry. Time out. One more thing before we do get into that. I had one more announcement. I did put another announcement out there on the Paramotor Facebook page, and I asked everybody if you're a type of person that prays. My buddy Jason had an accident. It could have been a lot worse. I was with him. I'm not going to go into too many details, but please continue. If you have been praying for Jason, please continue to pray for him. I saw him today. He came home from the hospital. great spirits. The man is just an amazing, amazing guy. I love the guy. Unfortunately, he's not going to be flying again, and I took on the responsibility of helping him sell all of his gear. So I know, I think his for sure his motor and trike have been spoken for, but there's a lot of other stuff, and I'll post some stuff out there as well as far as what's going to be for sale. But if you're going to be going to Moonshiners, I'm going to bring a lot of its stuff. So I'll try to post up some things for sale and whatever I have available at Moonshiners. So if you're interested in that, let me know. All of it's going straight back to him because he needs the money for some medical bills. So, but keep him in your prayers. I appreciate that. Andy Fuller, back to you. Hi.
Guys.
All right. So where do we want to start? Do we want to start with where we've been with SIV, the extension of SIV? I'll let you kind of take it from here and just talk about SkyLab.
Well, first off, this weekend we had a pretty awesome group of people out there. We had Ryan Glocka and Matt Minyard.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, Wing It Woody.
Wing It Woody.
Yeah,
he's awesome.
Chris Gilbert, a local from your guys' part of the woods.
Oh yeah, I love flying with my boys.
Weren't those guys just in town a few weeks ago, Andy?
Like 3 weeks ago. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Yeah. All running pylons. We basically did like all pylon training 3 weeks ago. Leah set up all the pylons, and then there was just the 5 of us, and we just 3 days straight of
ripped
that.
It up.
Awesome.
Were you just doing the same pattern? Were you switching up patterns?
It was kind of like we kind of had a set pattern, and then we eventually just got to where we were just kind of going out there and working on what we wanted to work on.
Okay.
We were weak on. So
now, when all these guys are much higher skill level than most paramotor pilots. Agreed?
Oh yes.
So when you're doing that, you're really, and this is stuff, and obviously everybody can see the title of the show is Pylon Racing and learning how to do that, which is really exciting. I mean, are these guys like going full speed bar into that or out of it? Or maybe we don't teach that right now on the show because I don't want anybody going out there and flying around a tree at full speed bar and pulling off and all that. But I guess kind of, well, take it from there. Tell us what they're doing and what to expect if we come into SkyLab for some training.
Yeah, so what we'll do with what we're going to do with the pylons is it's basically going to be an extension of the SIV because there's only so much you can do at really high altitudes for energy management. But what really exposes the energy management part is flying around pylons and having an obstacle. And I feel like in the past, a lot of us that are really good at flying low and aggressive kind of got that way by flying around like the flagpoles that are hanging by your buddy's trucks at the flying fields, flying around, various things like hay bales and stuff. And it's over land and it's not real safe. But we all want to do it. So if we can just do that over water and put up some pylons and work on like the energy management and the tight turns and like a safe environment with some flotation and rescue boat, and that'll kind of like open up a whole new door for everyone. So, but pretty much the way it is standard SIV, except for, we're only doing maximum 3 people, and it's usually groups, and we'll actually do maximum 4 people in a group. But if people want to come a couple days early or stay a couple days late, or if they just want to change up in the middle of the SIV, we'll pull out 3 pylons, put them out there and put the boats in the water and let everybody run, and then we videotape it. And at first you don't really need to know that you're making mistakes because it's pretty obvious because you're just blowing the turns real wide. But as it gets more technical, we can video it and then we go in and we watch all the videos and kind of critique it. So
that's cool. So first question from the chat comes from Mr. James Sutherland. Got anyone doing it on trike? Well, okay. So obviously it's just starting.
Yeah. That's big. That's big in Europe on the trike.
Really?
They put big motors, small wings, and then they rock it.
I guess you are getting extra speed from the extra weight.
Oh, yeah.
So do you think you'll be teaching it with trike then? Do you have the LZ? Do you have the LZ to take off and land for trike?
Yeah. Now, it depends on which direction the wind's coming from. So, because we have different spots we can launch from. And if it's coming from certain spots, it's a little tight for a trike. But then other spots, it's a little hard to get all the gear on the boat.
Yeah, I was going to say that. How do you pull that trike in and flotation for the trike? Really?
So, or, you can fly out there.
Wow.
Just in the field and fly out there. But preferably, it would be foot launch.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's expand on this now. What are requirements that you would expect for the students coming out there, not just for SIV, but for doing pylon racing? And I want to hear from the chat. I mean, is this something that you'd be excited to do? I mean, I'd mentioned this to Mark George. He's like, "Oh, count me in," from Paraswag. But so what requirements are you looking for from students?
Just that you gotta have your launches and landings dialed, because like you said, some of the spots for taking off, to have a good flying spot that's and a good launching and landing spot that's close to where people are flying, you got to have that dialed in. That's pretty much the most important thing. You got to have your flotation, and your safety's got to be taken care of. And then so far as wings, like if people want to go at it on like an ENA glider and just not even really get on the speed bar too much, just to kind of have something to fly around in a safe environment. So pretty much any wing, but you really just got to have your skills dialed. Like if you're ready to come to an SIV, then you're probably ready to just at least fly around the pylons.
What about going back to the question about trike, speed bar with trike? How do you manage that?
Well, you can do it. It's right down there under your harness. You just grab it, and because you're not steering your wheel with the trikes,
Right.
so
Okay.
can definitely be done.
All right. Here's a question coming up in the chat here. I'm gonna bring this up on the screen for you here, and might have to adjust a little bit. Let's see if we can make this work for us here.
Don't complicate things, David. Just ask the question.
I'm trying, man. Leave me alone. Craig Taylor. Wow. Craig Taylor, the busiest man alive, is watching this show. I love this man. Wicked Wings logos. He says, what are the rules for pylon racing? Points for getting wing
and pilot. Wing and pilot through pylons.
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to read it off
better
the screen.
track.
Go ahead, Johnny. Read it off for me. There we go.
And point deductions for hitting any pylons.
Good question. Go ahead, Andy.
The race is basically, it's done by like a lap timer. So you have gates that you fly through, and then you fly through the course, and then you fly back through the gates. So it's all time. It's usually like a 30-second race. So you come in usually full speed bar right through the gates, and that sets off the timer, and then you run the course, and you fly right back to the same gates.
So with the people that have been here, I mean, obviously, like I said, these are higher skill level. Thank you for the question there, Craig. These are high skill level than most people just coming in. Did you find that they were timid? Did you find that they were all out? Let's go for it.
Who? Minyard and Ryan and Holbert?
Yeah.
No, they weren't timid.
Yeah, of course not. What are you expecting people to come in? Just fly nice and level and make little turns? What are you expecting from John and myself?
Oh man, just the first time you fly at a pylon, it's the goofiest feeling ever, because especially if it's a little bit windy. But you'll do your turn, and because you have so many reference points, you can see how you're not keeping your altitude. You can see how far off you are on your turn, and how it's not smooth. Mm-hmm. So a lot of it's about timing. A lot of it's about coming around one pylon and setting up your next turn. It's one thing to just fly around it, and but you have your next turn to worry about. So, and the speed bar is kind of what you're going to work on the most when you're running around pylons. Like that was like the energy management of that, of coming out of a turn and then punching speed bar and not punching it too early where you're still in a turn and you can take a deflation. And then holding onto that speed bar as you start to initiate your turn, and then coming off of it to turn tighter. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things where you just have to run out. You have to go out there and you have to actually do it to really experience it, to learn from it.
So now, let's say John, myself, and Dave Ruff, who've already been out to SIV, and we want to come out and we just want to do pylons. Can we do that, or it's kind of like, hey, this is just a time filler?
I'd say probably you could do about 2 days of pylons. And then after that, you'd want to have a full setup with like what Leah's got. And the good news on that one is like Minyard's getting his pylons going, which is a little bit further west. And then Chris Holbert's going to get his pylons up and going. So there's actually going to be like multiple spots for people to go. Really? And then we're talking about alternating, like, because it's a bunch of work to get these things out. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, okay, so one person does it 1 month, one person does it the next month, and kind of rotate in. And that way it also gets a bigger grasp of people. Because, it's
from different areas, yeah.
Yeah, it's not too easy for people to drive 1,000 miles to do that stuff, Mm-hmm. So it's okay to do that every 3 months, but not every month. So, mm-hmm. So yeah, the good news is you guys are probably going to have some pylons in your area, or at least.
Yay. Bring them home, Chris Holbert. Bring them home. So,
one of the other things we're going to do with so far is because water seems to be still like that unfamiliar spot for paramotoring, and it's still like where we get a lot of accidents. So one of the other things we wanted to do was do water landings with paramotor frames on, but tow them up, right? Because you guys have already done the reserve throw and land in the water.
Yeah.
You experienced that, like how goofy it is to get out of the buckles. So we were going to do that where we actually have a paramotor frame that has floats on it, and then we tow you up to just 500 feet, and then you come in and you actually do your landing in the water, like a real legitimate water landing. And we have plenty of like throwaway wings that are now retired because they are almost retired because they've just been used so much.
Yeah.
So we could just get those wet. Yeah, tow you up to 500 feet, you pin off, boat rewinds the line, it gets ready, and you come down and do your water landing right by the boat, and then deal with everything more in like a paramotor environment with all the paramotor straps and but not on a frame that sinks. You know,
you're saying for the reserve toss?
No, just for a water landing, and then keep the reserve toss probably free flight. But it depends on what people want to do.
All right. If you need an expert on how to properly land in the water, I'm writing a book.
I know a guy that caught a fish in a wing once.
One time. I don't know if I could do that again. Oh, here's a nice little comment for you from Mr. Sean Simons. He says, "I love my trike from my for my SkyTap Angel. Thanks, Andy Fuller."
You're welcome.
Why are you laughing? What else? So, I guess I mean it's pretty basic. We're gonna do pylon training. Yeah.
David, let me say something. I'm kind of excited that he's going to do that with the paramotor on, get towed up, pin off, and then do a landing with a paramotor on. I think that's going to be good for a lot of people to go through something like that. Because as you know, we did the reserve toss, and we kind of know how easy you can get tied up in the lines and how the wind can drag you downwind, and things can get ugly really fast. As we saw Dave Ruff, he got pretty tangled. I don't think he could have reached his buckles. His hands were wrapped up in those lines.
I think he's still untangling his lines at this point.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, I think that's a really good thing to do it with, a motor on your back, just a frame or whatever, and take a shot into the water and see what's going to happen. Can you get out of those buckles? Is your head going to stay above water? Or are you going to go down on your belly and face into the water? I mean, panic sets in as a rescue diver. Panic sets in immediately, and some people will be able to manage it, but a lot of people won't, and it'll be good practice for them.
That's awesome. And Andy, did you say with a motor on a cage or without a motor?
A frame.
Just a frame. Yeah.
Okay. Are you gonna put extra weights in there? I think a lot about Tom Kubat's video when he tested all the different.
No weights.
No weights.
No, like we're gonna make it like put a little weight on there, but it's gonna float.
You got to be careful because you don't want anyone, getting sucked under.
Okay.
And then trying to pull them out while they're going down.
Yeah, even though everybody knows it's coming, it's still kind of,
So will you be providing flotation or bring your own flotation?
Providing flotation, providing the frame.
Okay, that is so cool. Yeah, I think like my mind just went right to a reserve toss. No, this is not a reserve toss. You're just coming down in the water.
Yeah, we can do the reserve toss with it too. And I'll tell you, one of the most scared moments I've ever had in paramotoring was my first time landing in the water. And because like the last probably 10 times I had landed in the water before that was free flight where I have all the buckles. But I remember like sticking my feet out to stand up and I couldn't because I was relatively close to shore. And then I kind of panicked a little bit and I started reaching for my buckles. Then I remembered I had a quick release harness. Boom. And I was out. Now then we got we took the engine over, we did the whole spray WD-40 in there and get it running again. We dried the wing out, and about 35 minutes later, I went right back up, and I promise you my motor cut right back out again. I went right back in the water.
Really?
But the second time I was ready. Like, second time it happened, and I was still like 15 feet in the air, and I hit the quick release harness in the air, and I landed in the water and just popped out of the thing. But I was ready. Like, the first time it caught me off guard so much where I was just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I kind of panicked for a second, and the second time I was more than ready for it. Granted, it was pretty much back to back, but so I think people experiencing something for the first time in a really controlled environment is key to staying calm when it actually happens, in combat.
Oh,
I agree.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the quick release harness, this buckle, and you created it. And how many people are actually buying it?
We sell a few of them a week, a few harnesses a week.
Really?
Yeah, and we actually have people with Mavericks and Scouts and stuff that have sent us their harnesses because they like to keep their logo on it.
Yeah.
And we undo it and we put the quick release in for them.
How long does, okay, let's talk about this because I think this is something that really a lot of people, especially if you are flying over a lot of water and you enjoy that a lot, this is something
Jeff Dean.
Jeff Dean, I was just going to say it too. Jeff Dean.
Excuse me.
That you really need Jeff Dean to get one of these things. Jeff Dean. But how much are they? How long does it take to get it back?
Okay, so it takes about a week to get it back.
That's not bad.
No, and that's just because, like, we do everything in phases, and then we get to the quick releases. If you really need it on a rush, you can really lean on me, and I get her done, in a couple days. But it costs $150 for the hardware and for us to sew it in and do all that stuff.
That is not bad.
So
not for a life-saving thing like something like that.
No. So let me give you a plug here, okay? Because I've had once or twice my reserve repacked by SkyLab. That's a great thing to do. Get that, Jeff Dean. Get that, and also get your reserve sent in too, because you can get all that done. That doesn't take you and I more than 30 minutes to do a reserve, right?
Yeah.
Get it all done at once. Safety. So thank you.
Yeah, they recommend repacking them once a year. I know that's a lot, but I mean ours get repacked about every 2 months just because we do SIV with them, but. Yeah, it's one of those things, if you're trying to be, and you can tell the difference in a reserve when you throw it, like if it's been repacked like last month or 3 months ago, or or when somebody shows up and they're like, hey man, this thing, I've had it for 2 years, it hasn't been repacked. And it's like, let's go throw it. And you throw it and it comes out and it just kind of sits there and it takes a little bit for the fabric to start separating and open. So
yeah, very cool. Thank you, Sean Simon, for that little plug there. I appreciate it. Sean's got a show on Monday night, tomorrow night, on the Sean Simon YouTube channel. Jade was in there earlier. I saw she's got her show on Wednesday night as well. Thank you guys. Thank you for the support. What else? So do you have the buckle nearby that anybody can see it? I'm assuming it attaches to the leg straps, the waist strap. Is that it?
Oh, will you grab me a buckle harness? Here's part of it.
All right. So tell us what we're looking at here.
This is. Here we go. We got a harness coming over right now, actually. And we have our own. We've been working on it for a hot minute, but we have our own quick release specific harness coming out.
Really?
Yeah. We already have one, but it's a lightweight version, and it's only like one size fits all, but one size does not fit all. And so we have, and it's coming out in small, medium, large, and it's actually built for quick release. So, but yeah, here's the quick release right here.
Okay. So it's clipping in. Is it the chest and the legs and the waist, or?
Yep, this one doesn't have a leg strap on it right now, but
okay.
Yeah.
But that hits all 4 points, correct?
Yep.
That's great.
Boom.
Boom. Okay. So one question I'm sure is going to be out there is, what's the risk that I accidentally snag it and I pull and I'm open?
So I've never heard of it happening, and quick releases are not just in like our paramotors. Like a lot of ultralights have like a very, very similar quick release buckle. But one of the things that we do on ours, because I'm scared of that too, is we have an actual clip that clips into the side. Did we bring me another harness? We have an actual clip, so it's, here we go, I'll show you. Once you close the quick release, there's this extra little buckle, so it can't come undone right here. This right here can't actually fully release without undoing that.
I'm going to put you on the spot, John. What are you thinking right now?
So I've flown that harness with that quick release, and I'll tell you what, when I landed, I just pulled that thing and I was out of that harness in a split second. I mean, literally a split second.
John, is it worth $150?
$150. That's cheap. I think it's worth double that.
That's just for the conversion. Just,
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we make these all up, and then we put them on your harness.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty dang good price
my
for a
mind
possible life-saving device.
My mind is going, why aren't you selling this to every manufacturer of a harness out there?
100%.
Yeah, everybody's got the ways they prefer.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to know it's there. So, where is it?
I got so many buckles on my harness now. If I ever went in the water, I'd just be going for the rescue knives and just start cutting the webbing because I don't think I can get to all the buckles.
Yeah, I think one of the issues is like they can't be made cheaply. Like all this hardware is made in America, and a lot of the harnesses are manufactured in like Vietnam or Korea. And then when the hardware is actually like the real expensive part and it really boosts up the price. So I think that's the reason why a lot of people haven't gone for it.
So I'm gonna I'm no joking here, okay? About when I went into the water at Hodges Field recently, I was face down. I was able to stand up, but I'm sure I'd have been a little nervous trying to find those buckles and how long would it take to hit 4 buckles. So that's something really important that everybody should have. Chad B put a question. He says, he didn't put a question. He made a statement. He says, I need to repack. It's been a couple years. So easy to forget. Andy, how fast, if Chad sent his reserve into you right now, how soon can he get that back?
It's usually 3-4 days before we repack them.
Okay. And how much are you charging right now?
$50 a repack.
That's
it depends. If you send it in on like a Thursday and we're going out the door to do SIV, then you might not get it back till Wednesday when we repack everything. But if you send it on like a Monday, it should be out the door before we go to SIV. So.
Okay. I'm going to let you answer this question. I already know the answer here, but Daniel Roush wants to know, why is there no training done with a paramotor?
For SIV?
Yes.
Risk. There's a lot more snag points and there's a lot more weight. And so when you go into a free flight harness, when you weight shift around and you're getting thrown around, you control all the weight. You're all strapped in real tight. When you throw a motor on there and you weight shift around, you have the harness and you move, but then the engine and the frame are independent. And that can cause, like if you get into a spin, you might be able to stop the glider with your brakes, but then because of the extra weight, the paramotor will keep spinning and it'll make the riser twist way worse. Or you would riser twist when you wouldn't originally riser twist. And it's also more weight adds more power to the glider, so it flings harder. But also like snag points and safety, Like there's a lot of places for things to get caught on a paramotor frame as opposed to a free flight harness.
Now with that being said, I know some people are probably thinking what I'm thinking is, well, Chris Santacroce teaches an SIV with paramotors.
He did that one time.
He did it up in Michigan recently as well.
Oh, he did?
Yes, I was there. Yeah, he did it 2 years ago at the Fly My PPG.
I'll say this: those courses are a little more. What's the word? Is
timid.
They're not
timid.
Timid. That's a good word.
Yeah. Because
you're doing asymmetrics and stuff. I don't think you're doing full stalls and stuff like that.
No, I watched it right after I had left SkyLab, maybe 2 weeks later. So I was watching it, and I have the greatest respect for Chris Santacroce, but I'm like, yeah, I know I was doing a lot deeper stuff with that, but you're right. I mean, with the paramotor, there's a lot more risk to doing it that way.
And that's fine that he does that, and it's good that he does that, and people understand that you can still fly half the glider and stuff like that. That's a good course as well.
Yeah.
Just for a lot of people, just doing like the asymmetrics and frontals is just a game changer there.
Very true. So I'm going to put you on the spot for a second, Andy, since I put John on the spot, because I got a bunch of people. I got Slow Days saying, I'm sending mine in this week. What else here? Do you need to? Oh, there's a good question. Hold on one second. I'll get back to that one. Someone else says, oh, yeah, Derek Trout says, I need that harness and release system. So if people say that they saw you on our Paramotor Nation, can they get like a sticker or something? Or maybe a little...
I think we're the only paramotor company that doesn't have stickers.
Oh, my gosh.
We could fix that for you. We got a sticker guy.
Get a sticker. I know it was Wolfe gave me my shirt. Came up with the idea of how to get the shirts done. So.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's right. Well,
sticker contact like that too. Maybe I'll take it.
Can you say thank you for watching? maybe $20 off their next SIV course. How's that? There's something.
Yeah, that's fair. Done.
All right, there you go. You heard it here. If you send to get your reserve repacked, or if you get one of the quick release buttons, you will get $20 off your next SIV course. That's awesome. All right.
Sweet.
There was a question. By the way, Andy, I saw you tonight on our Paramotor Nation. Don't forget that. All right. Paul Marzano. New name, John. New name.
Paul's been around. I've seen him in the chats.
All right, Paul. I'm sorry I haven't seen your name before. Thanks for being here.
But we do have a new name, Blaze in the Sky.
Blaze in the Sky.
Well-known YouTube guy. Yeah.
Blaze
definitely new to the chat.
There he goes. Says hello, USA. Hey,
yeah,
Blaze.
he's what the hell? I forget what country he's from, but he does some good videos.
I bet he's from Great Britain because there's a little flag next to where it says hello, USA. There you go. I want to go back to Paul. Paul says, do you need to be a qualified rigger to pack the reserve? Good question.
Not for motoring. For skydiving, absolutely. That's a real big process. But for free flight, no.
Yeah. And here's
I looked around for courses. I looked around. I could not find anything, no certs or anything. I couldn't get any of the. I couldn't even get the skydive guys to repack my stuff. So
yeah, there you go. Well, I'll tell you something. Watching you and do my reserve, and I think someone else did the reserve right before I did mine.
Oh, that's right. At Bad Apples.
Yeah. I mean, the detail that you guys put into it really just. Look, I trust you with my life already once. I would do it again. But for anybody watching it, the detail that you and Mike go into putting a reserve repack done or making a reserve pack redone, it really gives you a sense of comfort knowing that you're in good hands. James Sutherland, giving a plug here, says, SIV was a game changer for me. There you go. Now, I got a question for you. So when you take a guy who only does trike, like James Sutherland and Charlie Soap there, how is he launching and landing on the feet? Did you have to teach him how to foot launch?
Man, if he wouldn't have said anything, we wouldn't have known he was just a trike guy.
Really?
He's fine. He could foot launch. He just uses that trike as a crutch.
Yeah, he was saying that. Yeah, and I was just kind of like, whatever. Like,
he's fine. He could foot launch. I mean, he doesn't even have to run that far. He knows how to kite. He could foot launch, no problem.
The man can get out of a mud pit with a trike. He can do anything.
He can.
I don't buy this. I need a trike to fly stuff at all.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Maybe prefer the trike, but yeah, he was all good.
Is there? I'm going to put you on the spot again. Is there? I ask the hard questions sometimes. Is there a reason that you got Minyard and Holbert and what's his name? The other guy.
Ryan, go
wing it.
Yeah. Oh, Woody? Yeah, Mark, or Woody rather.
No,
Woody.
Wing it, Woody. Yeah.
Why are these guys all here? Is there a specific reason that they're here?
They all came to learn the helicopter.
Oh, the helis. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess how that went?
How'd it go?
Not so good.
No, they all learnred it.
There you go. Why wouldn't they?
Not consistent, but every single one of them got helis.
Really?
Connected in.
Oh my God.
In, 8-10 rotations. Yeah.
I love
that was such a cool SIV because everyone was nice and experienced. They've all pretty much done SIVs before that, and it was like they were coming there for the heli. So it was like day one, we did a bunch of like prep work for like learning the heli. It's kind of like, have you ever done martial arts?
Yeah.
One of the things they show you is how to like break fall and roll, because you're gonna get hit and you're gonna fall or you're gonna get thrown. So you need to know how to not get hurt when you get thrown. So we were doing all kinds of like stall and spin and finding parachutal and different ways to slip in a tail slide and then come up into parachutal, and then doing negative spins and then exiting those in tail slide, and then goofing off with parachute and just kind of working the base. And then it was heli time, which is just, you make mistake after mistake, and then you connect them, and then you make a couple more mistakes and you get a couple more rotations. And then sooner or later you hook into like an 8 rotation helicopter. And and that day was today. Like I literally just got back like probably an hour and a half ago from.
Wow.
Yeah, from all 4 of them did a heli today.
That's awesome. That's great news.
So
that is very cool.
That was cool. They were coming down. They were going to, because they're doing some air shows in like Chicago.
Yeah.
They were coming down, and you guys have been to the SIV. We all got big plans. We're like, all right, we're gonna get the motors out after we tow, right? maybe we'll throw a couple pylons out.
No way. You're dead tired.
No, not a chance. They were gonna do like formation.
No, that don't happen, man.
No,
You're in
no.
that sun and that heat.
Yeah, you're either too exhausted or you're too stoked. You know, like when you get in, you're just
the adrenaline dump is amazing.
Yeah. So
there's nothing left in you.
Yeah, and then them all hitting the helis, you know, because that's a slow progression, and then they started connecting them. We were just all too stoked to do anything else. So we were talking all kinds of stuff. Minyard was like, "Hey, does it, you know, you wouldn't happen to have a D bag, would you? You know, to drop the parachute out of?"
Sure.
You know, like, yeah, I got one in the camper. You know, so that sparks this whole conversation of, all right, are we gonna jump out of the trike? Are we gonna tow up and jump out? And
oh my God, you guys were dreaming.
Yeah, and it was just like, no, we just ended up going out there and towing, and that was, you know, just as good. So
wow,
good stuff.
So cool.
Yeah, that was cool having, and Leah came out too and hung out. Like it was having like it was a cool class.
That's awesome.
It was almost strictly helicopter training.
I want to see Wyatt Parker out there training with you. I want to see him busting out helis. 11-year-old Wyatt, who's been on the show a couple weeks ago, he is a sponge.
I think if he spent a 3-day weekend there, I don't see any reason why I wouldn't be doing them.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Maybe not consistently, but he'd be hooking into helis.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool. Anything else, Andy? What else is going on?
Well, we got a new frame coming out.
Tell us about the new frame.
So, it's a single hoop with 3D swing arms.
And 3D.
Yeah, 3D. So they come out like this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And same standard swing arms, but they come out.
Okay.
Do they move back and forth?
You mean up and down or left
like this?
Right?
No, in and out. Like this. Yeah. Up and down and in and out.
Yeah. They don't go any further in than like your normal swing arms, but they go further out. You know, so
they go out. Okay.
Yeah, they just go out a little bit. And that's cool. That does wonders for weight.
Oh, that's got to be really good for weight shifting. Yeah.
And then it's basically, so it's a light frame. You know, it's like 53 pounds. It sits nice and high and comfortable on your back, like most of your conventional frames. And it has the quick release harness or the standard harness, whichever one you want. And then it has the 350-pound Kevlar netting. So the cage, because it's not a double hoop, it's not as strong. But this is it's a single hoop, and we use nice round diameter of our aluminum tubing is thicker with thin walls. So it's wider but thin walls, which gives it like a real nice base. And it has no problem like doing anything on like power forwards on trikes or power forward tandem launches or anything like that. So
interesting. I'm excited to see this. When will this be out? When will we get to see this paramotor?
Next month. Next month.
Wow.
We got a few of them floating around out there on the market, but I haven't really posted any videos or anything like that.
Really?
But yeah, all 3 of my prototypes sold.
So next month is August. After Moonshine is not really happening in August. Then we've got Dave Purden's flying and an EFD. Will we see any of these at those fly-ins?
Endless foot drag is a little far for me.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. 1,300 miles each way.
Yeah, that's a little far. And, I went out there a couple years ago and I just got hammered by the rain for like 4 days straight driving out there.
Huh.
Yeah, that was bad luck. But
Dave Purden's?
Dave Purden's? Yeah. Yeah, I could bring her out there.
You coming up to Dave's? Oh, dude, you're staying at my place. Are you serious?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Where am I going to sleep? I'm not sleeping on the couch again, Wolf. Okay?
All right. We'll talk.
Didn't Riva build out the basement?
What's that?
For your place? Didn't he build out the basement?
This is it.
David's in there right now.
This is it.
Yeah.
You've got plenty of places to stay. Everybody, come on over to my place. We got plenty of places to stay. Cool. All right. That's exciting. We'll hear more about that. Does it have a name yet?
It's the Spartan.
The Spartan. Spartan. All right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Very cool name, Spartan.
All right.
But yeah, that one right there, we took about 4 months to develop that one. It was relatively quick. And I'll be honest, I knew it was strong. Like we're building it, like standard to be nice and strong and have the safety. And the weight shift, we were trying to have the breakthrough on the weight shift. And that was kind of like the part we got caught up in the most, like trying to really get, because the Angel has phenomenal weight shift, and it's kind of hard. I know it doesn't sound quite correct, but it's hard to get that good of weight shift with without fixed hang points. And then when we did the 3D swing arms, that actually opens up the risers a little bit more and really compounds that weight shift. So
yeah,
then I started getting excited about it. Like really excited.
I can't wait. I want to fly it. I gotta fly it. By the way, Chad B pegged it right there, John. He says that I was planning on having you stay in my camper. Actually, Chad, he's still going to be staying in my camper. He might be a little
no
sharp.
Walls on the camper.
There may not be any walls or a roof.
Right, yeah.
Is there even a bed left in there? Holy cow! What do you expect?
There was a mattress. Yeah, there was something there. Yeah, we're far. Kelby Cox asking about a new camper. We're not even close to that point yet. Update on that this coming Thursday. There's an inspector from the insurance company who's going to see if he can figure out what the heck happened there. So there you go. Ripman Ryden.
Yes, sir.
Would you like to make a couple announcements of your own there, sir?
All right.
Is that okay, Andy?
Get it in.
Hang
on 1 sec.
Andy,
Hang on 1 second.
Is that okay? Uh-oh, he's gone.
He's back.
Oh, he's back. All right.
Okay, so I am going to be a dealer for Nirvana Paramotors.
Woo!
I will be working Florida and maybe up the East Coast a little bit. I will also be able to get any gliders from Dudek, and I know Dudek's been having a lot of problems, but they're working them out. Any Dudek glider in Nirvana colors. So if anyone's interested, they have 2 paramotors out now, and they're working on a third. They have the F-Light, which is coming out with a new design, and then they got the Blue Line Rodeo. So yeah, anybody's looking for any Nirvana stuff, I could help you out.
Ripa, I got to say, that's some really good news.
That's pretty exciting.
Really good news.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
I want to talk a little bit more with Ripa about that in the after show.
Sweet.
I do want to ask this real quick. Linda Anderson asked a question. She said, what is Pylon Training? I think we pretty much covered that at the beginning of the show, correct?
Yeah, just flying around pylons.
Yeah. So, and I guess, and let's just clarify that too. So these pylons, I mean, there's a thumbnail of the show showing you flying around a pylon. They look like cones that are sticking in the water, and basically it's precision flying, going around fast. I think someone had mentioned it's like, an airplane flying around pylons, or you could think about like when you see horses going around, people riding horses around barrels, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same idea. It's all about speed and
Let Andy add some more stuff. Let me explain. When you're doing racing around pylons and you have a speed bar, what happens, Andy? Let them know what happens when you're on bar and then when you let off and you hook around the pylon, and then what happens when you come out of the turn and you hit bar again. Explain to people, how that timing really makes you get around the course fast.
It's a great question.
Ideally, you want to hang on to that speed bar as long as possible. Come off of it as late as possible when you bank your turn. So what you do is you're coming into your turn, you pull a little bit with wingtip steering if you have it, and you get the glider cranked over on the side, and then you release your speed bar.
And tell them what happens, how they rocket around the turn.
Well, normally when you're in straight and level flight and you release speed bar, you shoot up.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is when you bank sideways and you release speed bar, when you're on full throttle the whole time, it instead of a big rounded turn, it makes for a tighter turn. And then as you roll out of that turn, it's getting on speed bar fast again. So when you first start off, you'll come off speed bar before you even initiate your turn. And then you'll do your turn, you'll level out, and you'll go on speed bar again. And as you get better and better, you'll start managing your throttle and your speed bar together. And basically, as you roll on your speed bar, you're increasing your throttle and you're maintaining altitude.
Yeah, because when you hit speed bar, you're going to drop. And you want to add throttle then, so you kind of maintain your altitude. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. I fly speedball all the time, and I do have a lot of gliders with the PK system, which dumps the rear trims, and it's very dynamic. When you come off bar and you're on a bank turn, I mean, you get whipped right around that turn. So it's a lot different than just pulling, the brake and going around a turn with just the brake in your hand, the brake toggle. So. Andy, I just wanted you to kind of touch on that so people understood a little bit more, how the speedball works in pylon racing.
When you're racing around pylons, you're trying to shorten up your run as much as possible. Like you don't want to fly way out around the pylon. You want to keep it as right? Well, also you don't want to come in real high and then do your turn and dive and then come out real high, right? Because that adds more distance.
Sure.
Run. So you got to manage that speed with your throttle, and you got to manage it with your speed bar. So, because speed bar, a lot of speed bar, like in normal paragliding, is all pitch control. And then when you add a paramotor to it, and you're doing, pylon, you run around pylons or flying low, it's a lot. You have a little bit more control over the pitch of the glider and what you're doing. So it's something like when you fly around the pylon, it's one of those things that kind of opens up your head to like where you can put numbers on where your mistakes are. When you're just flying around the field low and there's just grass and stuff, you're not quite sure how good you're getting it. But when you have to put obstacles out there, you can see when you go way, way wide on a turn, you come out, and you're right there over the water, which is nice and safe. But you can see when you balloon up and you come in too low. And
sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that get exposed with that. So and that's why I had so much fun when I did it. Like whenever we all came down, to Florida, and we all busted out those pylons, I was out there flying around like, man, and we all sat around afterwards like, man, we got so much we can learn, and we learned so much in just a few days, you know?
Andy Blazing Sky says, would be great to see some USA pilots in the slalom competitions here in Europe.
That is kind of what the end goal is, with Minyard and Holbert and Ryan, and like everybody kind of getting their own pylons and like alternating training. And the end goal is to basically form a USA team, have some competitions over in the US, some qualifying to where, and then you have to be able to have the time and the ability to make those travels over there to Europe and where the competitions are and compete. And then, if we can do that good enough for long enough, maybe we can get those guys to come out here to good old United States.
There you
Heck
go.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
There you go. Teasing your friends is what Mark Rogers says. Pylon training is a great for teasing your friends. Well, let me ask you this. So I'm Joe Schmo, or I'm David Wolfe, and I said, I really want to try what he just said because I like ballooning up, and that's kind of fun when I come off speed bar. Is it safe to go up to a higher altitude, and obviously you don't have a pylon up there, but to do those hard bangs and let off and feel that whip around, is it safe to do that, or what are the risks involved if I wanted to try that? And Nick Griffith was, I don't know if he was asking, but like what type of G's am I feeling? So 2 questions there. Is it safe to do that, and about what kind of G's should I expect to feel?
So the G's, my G meter must be broken. But when we come around, I've heard people say like you come around the pylons and there's a ton of G's, and I don't feel the same buildup. I don't think it's too bad, honestly. It's not really any worse than banking a real hard turn normally on your paramotor. But I would say, so going up high is always safer, but you have less judgment. But going low over water is you can see more of like how your altitude and your pitch control is. And if something goes wrong, you're in the water and the boat's right there. So it's safe. I mean, it's absolutely like things can go wrong. You're racing, and it depends on how hard you're going too. If you're going out there and not using speed bar, that's one thing compared to if you're, on a 15 square meter, free ride, full speed bar, that impact on water is going to be a little bit different. But yeah, relatively safe.
Very cool.
Always got to have your flotation, got to have your rescue boats. Like and training pylons, I know there's a good amount of people that'll train pylons over land. I just could never bring myself to do it. Like I could see me flying around some pylons over land, but I couldn't see me like trying to push any sort of limit.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that, there's really only one way to figure out how late you can come off that speed bar into a turn, and how early you can get on that speed bar coming out of a turn. Because it'll deflate on you if you do it too early or too late, right? And you want that to happen over water. And just because it takes a deflation doesn't mean you're getting wet. Like when we were out there running around these pylons, I think everybody took at least one deflation. Like a couple of us took several.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was able. You were all it did was like blow your course. Like you sorted out the glider and just missed your next turn, to stay dry. But the way to find that, like if you're gonna find that line, you want to do it over water. So awesome. We all know the paramotor pilots like they like taking big steps sometimes. Some people take really big steps with when they're trying to get into something.
Mm-hmm. Well, the thing is too is, I think I've said this before. At some point, we want to do more. We don't just, some people just want to fly nice and straight, and that's great, and we should enjoy the incredible gift that we have to be able to just fly. And then some people want to go ahead and do acro, and they want to push that, and then maybe they get bored with doing a sat, and they want to do the next thing and the next thing, and then they're doing helicos.
They want to challenge
They
themselves.
want
Yeah.
to challenge themselves, and this provides another challenge for everyone as well.
In a safe environment.
And I think one of the problems is that there's a lot of travel involved to get to that safe environment. Like there's not a whole lot of SIVs in the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
There's 5 of them. And like the next closest one is 2,000 miles away to us. So like I get why people they're ambitious and they want to try stuff, but they also don't want to make that long distance for something if it's unknown what the results are going to be. So they try it on their own. They can get hurt, or you develop bad habits, and then it just takes you longer in the end. So that's what's really cool about like all the people that were here like 3 weeks ago for that, and all the people that were just here that weekend. Everybody's gonna get their own like little. There's gonna be several different areas that people can train. That's how we get competitive.
Yep. Because there was internet issues before the show, we didn't do a wheel tonight. It was just too complex, as both Andy and John will say. But I just read a comment, and I'm cracking up inside. And Nick Griffith, I want to send you a sticker, so shoot me a message with your address. I got to send this out to you. He's asking James Sutherland, who obviously flies a trike, and he says, there was conversation, about this becoming an Olympic sport, right? So with James in a trike, is that like doing wheelchair Olympics? That's just funny. That's brutally funny. I love it. Nick, dude, that was the comment of the night right there. That was awesome. Mark Rogers says, is there a free flight pylon class? That would be a challenge. That would definitely be a challenge. Free flight, you wouldn't get very far.
Maybe if you did it like down like a hillside.
Maybe. Yeah, like an obstacle course.
On something here, because the speed flyers, that. Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
I think that's a good question for Thursday night show. What else, boy? We're almost at where we just passed the top of the hour, brutal. James Sutherland says that's awesome. Cool. Any other big announcements, Andy?
No, we're all good. Well, we have one, but I can't release it yet.
Oh, come on.
At the end of the show?
At the end of the show.
I gave you the harness, I gave you the frame. Can't come out with the.
And we will see.
At the end of the show, Andy?
So when's Andy coming on the show next to make the next big announcement?
After you come back to Florida for some more SIV. I know. Yeah, it's a long way away.
All right. So in a couple of years, we'll hear that. I just don't know when I can get time. Cool. John. Oh, first of all, before John, Andy, if you're interested in learning more about pylons, do you have anything on the website yet for the pylons?
Not about that yet.
Okay, so that's coming soon. Take a look at the SkyLab, as always, with any of the sponsors. SkyLab is a sponsor of our Paramotor Nation. That always can be found on the Our Paramotor Nation website. Andy, I'll invite you, as I do all the sponsors, to utilize the Facebook page for any announcements. We got, I think, 1,300 now members on the Facebook page. So it reaches a lot of people, which is fantastic. If you're not on the Facebook page, please join there. A lot of announcements and more information from the sponsors are going to be coming as well. Also, if you want to get a repack, or you want to get a quick release harness, or anything else I'm missing, Andy, from that list, okay, go to the SkyLab website, reach out to Andy, and he'll get that back over to you as soon as possible. John, back to you now. Any other big, you'd mentioned the new, I loved how you changed your hat. You had to do a costume change big show. Very cool.
So I actually got another glider, and it's a Hadron 3, and I stepped down a size, but it's in the Nirvana colors. I will be showcasing that at Moonshiners, and I have a motor on order, so I will be flying a Nirvana Paramotor, and I'm excited.
Awesome. John, question from the chat. Will we see videos coming from videos of you and the new glider coming soon on your YouTube channel?
Oh, yes. You will definitely be seeing a lot of them.
You don't say.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked to find this. Nick, I got your sticker at Moonshiners. And Dewey Milstead, thank you. I appreciate those kind words. Hey, if you are going to Oshkosh, or if you're already at Oshkosh, if you're at Oshkosh, what are you watching the show for? You should be having fun. No, just travel safely, please, everybody, and look out for each other. A lot of paramotor pilots I know are going. I'm there next year. I'm definitely there next year. Cool. Anything else, guys? Next year, we got Michelle Burns going to be on the show. Moonshiners is right around the corner. James Sutherland says, is anyone going to have wings for sale at Moonshiners? Yes, I will have 2 wings for sale at Moonshiners for my buddy who got injured.
Ripman's always got some gliders for sale there, James.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does. Actually, I have 1 trike for sure for sale if you're looking for a trike as well. So I'll have all that at Moonshiners. A lot of stuff. I got windsocks. I got, if you live up north and you're an extra large size person, I've got a flight suit. So GoPros. Oh my gosh, I've got so much stuff to sell for this gentleman. So there you go. Craig Taylor says check out Arrhythmia at they're performing at Oshkosh 3 or 4 times. A lot of our friends from the show, including Todd Falstad, who's going to be he's I'm not sure what Todd's going to do. Hoping he's performing a helico.
No, so I heard at Oshkosh that you were not allowed to do more than a 30-degree turn.
What?
I haven't heard that, but it's possible. They got some strict rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I heard that, and I was like, like that would be hard to not accidentally do.
Yeah, like tell that to Kyle Mooney and Travis Burns that they can only do a 30-degree turn.
Even Mooney would be taking it real easy. He'd be flying down the line. And he would just be like, all right, I'm going to flip back and fly by the crowd again, and that would be too sharp of a turn.
Yeah. Kyle would be like 30-degree stop, 30-degree stop, as fast as he possibly can. All right. Let's bring some eye candy on the show. Come on, let's see Mai. Let Mai say hi. What's up, Mai? There she is. She's awesome. And they got a new kitty cat. Where's the kitty cat? Is it running around? And John, why don't you remind everybody their dog's name? John? Oh, he's coughing. He doesn't remember the dog's name. He forgot your dog's name. Oh, listen to him. He's so full of it. Okay. All right. Everybody. Oh, John's back. John, what's that dog's name? Oh, you're going to cough again. Andy, Mai, thanks for joining us, guys. Everybody else, thank you for joining us. I'll put the code back up there for the after show. So if you wanted to join, say hi to Andy. My wife just got back in town after being away for 3 days, and she leaves tomorrow morning, so I'm not going to be staying very long. I want to spend some time with her. All right, Andy?
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Andy.
All right. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.